Oh, we're on.
We're welcome to another exciting episode of Purana Talk with Alan and Leon.
Sorry.
We're doing the Garuda Purana. We're in chapter 17
Of
of the second skanda.
Glory of Sravanas. Garuda said, "O Lord." No, actually, he's probably said it differently. "O Lord, I want to know about the parentage of Sravanas." Is it Sravanas or Sravanas? I thought they were the Sravanas, plural, but
So it's a
it's
Shiva SR.
Avan with a dot under it, AS. You asked me to spell that last chapter.
I know.
What was the context there? The abominable, honorable, respectable Sravanas, the sons of Brahma. But now it's like confusing us whether it's a plural or a singular. Oh Lord, I want to know about the parentage of Sravanas. How are they stationed in the city of Yama? How do they know about the activities of mortals? How do they hear what the people talk about among themselves? From what source is that knowledge derived by them? So these are interesting things. They're sons of Brahma, but didn't they marry they were like the progenitors of...
In our other set of notes in Skanda 1,
Yesterday.
they went through them one by
No,
one.
yesterday. It was still Kunda 2, but just the last chapter.
Well, they mentioned them, and I think
Or
they
you're talking
named
about
them
another.
all even.
Oh, in the other.
But what I'm saying is, in the first skanda, we actually had chapters on each
Oh.
one.
Goodness, really?
I believe so, because there was that long section on the afterlife rituals in the other one too,
Yeah,
and it was mentioning them.
we'll have to go back and check. Um, yeah, they are worshipped partially because, and along with the females known as Shravanis,
Right.
they're the presiding deities of mortals. They have full knowledge of their activities. Now they're asking, how do they know about the activities of mortals?
Yeah. Well, Garuda wants to know, right?
Yeah, Garuda wants to know. Inquiring minds and Garuda. But I was just making sure I knew what was really going on here. And by worshiping them, they make death less of a difficult transition.
Right.
Okay. Oh Lord, where do they eat? Favor me with your answers to my queries. On hearing the words of the king of birds, the Lord spoke. It's like, what restaurants do they hang out in?
Mm-hmm.
I want to meet these Sravanas. The Lord said, now hear what I am going to speak about Sravanas is both truthful and pleasant. I shall tell you about the activities of Sravanas. When the entire world of movables and immovables became one uniform whole, and I, the Lord of Beings, was reposing in sleep in the milky ocean, the self-born Brahma, seated in my navel lotus, practiced penance for many years. The universe, consisting of fourfold creation, was reduced to a single entity, the universe, which is created by Brahma, preserved by Vishnu, and annihilated by Rudra. Brahma created the all-pervading wind. He created the refulgent sun. He created Yama, along with Chitragupta. He created the universe afterwards and practiced penance for many years, sitting in the navel lotus of Vishnu. He created the universe and assigned duties. The gods were anxious to know what time the Creator created the universe, how Rudra, Vishnu, and Dharma ruled over the earth. Thus lost in anxiety, the gods pondered over this problem. They discussed the matter with Brahma. Brahma, who was urged by the gods, created 12 sons by the chemical process out of flowers and leaves. Another one. The footnote here. Another tradition ascribes 12 sons to Kashyapa and his wife Aditi, who are known as the 12 Adityas. Well, that's nice. So, they hang out together? They date, like in groups of 12?
Well,
I guess
whenever
they're
the 12
all
comes
suns,
up,
so never mind.
I always think, well, maybe the 12 signs.
It is explicitly solar in the Kashyapa Aditi
Right.
tradition, and Brahma, well, he created the sun.
There
right?
are 12 solar sections.
Brahma created the sun, and he had 12 suns by the chemical process.
13 lunar months, 12 solar in a year.
You want to know what the Sanskrit is when they say by the chemical process.
Yeah.
So about these suns, they possess lustrous, wide eyes. At the behest of Brahma, they carry all tidings of man's activities, whether good or bad, to the ears of Brahma. They can hear from afar and see far-off things, O bird. They are therefore called Sravanas. They roam about in the firmament and watch the activities of the people which they reveal to Yama at the time of their death.
So
they know when you've been sleeping. They know when...
These 12.
Yeah, the Sravanas. They're nosy little nice spirits, sons of
Well,
Brahma.
everybody's born in one of the 12 signs. It may be something like that.
Mm-hmm. 17. They also declare on the fitness of the departed soul for a particular goal due to his activities. There are 4 paths in man's life, viz., paths of Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha, O son of Vinata. Vinata, wife of Kashyapa and a daughter of Daksha. 2 sons, Aruna and Garuda, and a daughter Sumati were born to her. For details, see the Puranic Encyclopedia under Garuda. So interesting. So there are 4 paths in life. O son of Vinata, a man can go by any one of these paths, superior or inferior. Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. So spirituality, of making money, of indulgence in the senses, or liberation. These are often referred to as the ends of life, the 4 ends, the 4 ashramas, right? Or the ashramas, the stages of life. Oh, now I'm confused.
4 paths is what they call it here.
Right. We'll call them paths. 19. One who bestows riches goes by a celestial car. One who fulfills wishes rides the horse. One who desires liberation travels by swan vehicles.
I get these pictures like you see in Hindi movies, of these swan-shaped boats and stuff.
Yes, well, it's carnival stuff. Mm-hmm. I have a photograph of swan-shaped boats from Nainital. Mm-hmm. A sinful person walks barefooted on rows of sword-edged leaves. He's struck with stones, pierced with thorns, bound by nooses. He who in the world of mortals propitiates Sravanas, offering them water from a jar and food cooked in a vessel, worships Sravanas and me. O Lord of birds, I shall grant him that position which is inaccessible even to the immortals. With devotion he should feed 11 Brahmanas who are pious and virtuous, and the 12th, together with his wife, just for my propitiation. Men should worship Sravanas together with the gods. By doing so, they who seek for pleasure can get to heaven. By worshipping Sravanas, they propitiate me, Chitragupta, and Yama. With Sravanas pleased, the pious people go to Vishnu Loka. O best of birds, whosoever hears about the glory of Sravanas, their origin and pious activities, is not covered up by sins. He enjoys pleasures of this world and attains glory hereafter.
Interesting.
So it's good that you were listening today.
Yeah.
Now, Sravana is also like one of the months in the Hindu calendar. I think Shravan, and it is derivative from this, from these Shravan. And it is a time in which the ancestor worship is particularly done, and it's considered appropriate. It's
What time of year is it?
Well, I'm trying to remember that. I'm not positive without looking it up. But yeah, it seems to me that Pitru worship is done during that month, and the Shraddha ritual in Sravana.
In the last chapter, there were only 8 Sravanas, and this time there were 12.
Really? No.
Yeah, I thought so. There were 12 this time.
The last one.
Yeah.
The Sravanas are 8 in number.
So
well, maybe it's had
there's
more little Sravanas.
Well, I think maybe there's more than one way of figuring this out.
Well, let's look at what Brahma is, remember, because they are offshoots of Brahma. He faces the 4 directions. He has 4 faces facing 4 directions.
He's the aware being of the others, too.
So it could be the directions in the semi-quarters represented by 8. Mm-hmm. But you could, how would you expand that to 12? I'm not exactly sure.
Well, the way they do it in astrology is
Up,
that
down,
you have solstice and equinox,
9,
that's
10,
4,
11.
And then you divide your 4.
When did it become the year, I guess?
Well, I'm just saying that that's how 12 gets derived with 4. It's in the zodiacal group. So you get...
Yeah, well, I'm looking at this group of 8.
3.
You know, if this group of 8 is really like the directions in the semi-quarters,
right,
symbolically, then how do you expand that to 12? Because if you then put in center, up, and down, you're almost there. You've got 11. Mm-hmm. But how do you add another one at that point? It's like,
how about you?
Well, you're at the middle, aren't you? You are here.
You are the Brahma in your worldview. You're the one that has the 4 directions.
Well, and then then we get this 11, and we just had 11 plus 1. Remember in talking about these offerings, the last one was the Brahmin and his wife, and in worshiping, he worships all of them and him, and I don't know. It's interesting. Maybe somehow they recognize that you get 11 this way, and 12 is the leap to. We can speculate.
Or they're doing it the same way they do it in the zodiac, which is, you divide it in quarters and then in thirds.
But that never gives you 8. That gives you 4 and then 12.
Well, 8 is just when you do the semi-quarters. It's like if you divide it both ways, you can have it both ways. There's one system that does 8 and one that does 12.
Okay.
Just guessing.
They're not semi-quarters anymore. They're like a third of the way there.
Well, what I'm saying is that they're semi-quarters if you make them.
The midpoint of them is like in the middle of one of the 3. The others are between. Anyway.
But that's how it works astrologically anyway.
Does it work?
Well, that's always a question. This is why there's a great many ways of deriving what that semi-quarter day is. Like in witchcraft is a good example. I know people that think the midpoint is the right day. I know people that think that the calendar date is the right day. And I know people that insist on some other date based on some other reckoning. Sometimes it's the 15-day shift that happened when they corrected the calendar in the medieval period. Some people want to take that out.
Don't forget that. Yeah,
they want to take that out.
Screwed everything up. I've never gotten used to that.
So that put everything 12 days different or 15 days different.
Let's let these nice people get on with their day.
Bye.